Hello ladies and gentlemen, I am PANCZASU, the mighty mega spammer. Welcome back to Disharmony. It has been a couple of days since my last Endless Space video. Reason for that is fairly simple. I will never again make a video that is an hour long, over an hour long in fact, and still in HD. Why? Because the last one was actually 3.5 gigabytes large. That's pretty huge, and it took forever to upload to YouTube. Then, as it turned out, YouTube had some error and I had to re-upload it, and then re-upload it again. Only after a third time it actually worked. Extraordinary annoying, I can assure you, but lesson learned for the future, I guess. Now, I have said a couple of things in my past video that were a little bit on the BS side, because those were my very first minutes with Disharmony, and now, as you can see, I have played a bunch of games. And with that I mean a single game, except it's almost a full game as one of my custom factions, which are yet again playable. And I'm having a ton of fun. I mean, I don't know how many hours I've sunk into Disharmony already, but at the very least 15, I'll guess more, I don't really remember. So yeah, it is a good time waster. Anyway, last time when we left off, a pirate was pretty scary on Zitiberia, whatever the system is called, and I'll need to dispatch him, except that my fleet might actually not be quite up to snuff to actually take him out. Problem is, there's another pirate that is also heading to Mrs. Fatland, and I do not really have a fleet that can defend it. I mean, I am sending my tectonics back to Mrs. Fatland to defend it, and thankfully this pirate can actually not capture my home system. That's because it has literally no invasion strength. Now, a thing that has changed in this expansion is that without any invasion strength, which is siege, or without any troops or bombers or anything like that, you cannot, literally cannot invade a system. You cannot do anything to it. You can just hover around it, blockade it, be extraordinarily annoying, but you cannot gain control over it, which is quite a neat feature. It encourages you to have more ship designs, more specialized ship designs, especially since, as I noticed in this expansion, there are way more modules that you have to take into consideration, especially with the additional fighters and bombers and whatnot. And the tonnage is as limited as it always was, except now you have to specialize more because there are simply more things that you need to take into consideration. So the game really encourages you to have multiple flexible ship designs, which I like, I really do. At the same time, I'm also happy that you can still have a dreadnought design in the late game that can basically have everything, which I love. I love the idea of motherships, what can I say? So, anyway, what was something else I wanted to talk about? I don't really remember, but I will remember it sooner rather than later, I have no doubt in my mind. Now, let's exit the screen. What I also have done off camera is change the balance of my matter a little bit so that I have a small bonus on food. I have noticed that if I go a little bit higher to get a bonus on science, it will still take me 7/10 to get my high energy magnetics, which I do very much so like. That's why I'm still continuously trying to get the science, but I'm currently more concerned with food because I'm staggering a little bit behind. Now, I almost won my other game on Endless in this expansion, the one that I am not recording, so it's still doable, although the AI has been improved. The war AI is a little bit dull sometimes, it has some problems fighting wars, but overall the AI is still a very worthy opponent. So what I'm going to do right now is actually not much else, I will be honest. I do have one ship that is about to colonize Mars, which is important, and this actually reminds me what I wanted to talk about. The Disharmony that Disharmony experiences. Yeah, I'm honest, I'm serious. Disharmony that Harmony experiences. That's because, as I said, dust is evil, it is bad for us, and it's our downfall. So we hate dust because it actually corrupts us and it makes us weaker. I said this before, but I didn't know exactly how does it work. So basically, every system I control that has plague on it, which is called dust, suffers a disharmony penalty. Now, I do not yet know the exact numbers. I was too lazy actually to take a good look at them in the game files. But there are some severe penalties, so when you have dust on your system, it actually decreases your fizz, which is your food industry and science. And in fact, the more systems you have with dust on them, the more penalty all of your systems can experience. This is why we have this kind of technology. As you can see, it decreases the disharmony penalty on your empire, which is very good early game because it will take a while for you to gain the technology to actually purify your system from dust. As you can see right now, it will take me 140 turns to get this technology, not even taking into consideration all the wicked technologies that I would have to research first. But we'll get to that. I mean, I'm still quite far away. I actually am starting to like the military tree more and more. I mean, right now, it kind of forces you to expand more wildly over here and experiment with what you want to have. I still would love there to be, you know, the ultimate weapons that are harder to get than anything else aside from the scientific victory, of course. And currently that's not the case, but maybe, just maybe, this will be changed. I don't think it will, but I would love for it to be changed still. But as I said, I like this military tree more and more, and there's a lot of changes that have been implemented, which is very interesting. Also, while I understand, I can tell you that the heroes have been changed a little bit. Some classes have the abilities of the other classes, making, for example, adventurer heroes more viable as system governors, because now they have the Ministry of Propaganda, which, as you may remember, used to belong to, what you might call it, the administrators or corporates, I don't remember, one of the two. So anyway, our battle is about to commence. Now the pirates have a clear advantage over my forces. They are using beams, I have no shields. I'm using also beams from long range, so I will hopefully, maybe kinda-ish, be able to destroy 2 of the enemy, pirate ships, but that's about it. I will not be able to do much else. So what I'll do is spread fire. I want to affect as many pirate ships as possible, because 2 of them will go down. There's little doubt in my mind about this. And what else can I do to save myself from dying? Not much. I can go for sabotage, which will increase the accuracy of my long-range weapons, and then I'll probably try to go for adaptive strategy, because hey, why not? And if I survive for this long, then I'll be very surprised, so let's just kill a barrier. Now, a little note about fighters and bombers. I've been using them a lot because the custom faction I played as off camera were the Templars, and their ships have incredible bonuses actually, to fighters and bombers. So I've been focusing on them. And the curious thing about fighters and bombers, they actually are not taken into account when you talk about the ship military strength. So even though I was the worst in military strength all the time in this game I played, I was actually the best, because the game didn't consider that I'm focusing on bombers and fighters, which can actually pack a hell of a punch if you let them. But only if you let them. The first bombers you get are actually kinda crappy, and I'm not even gonna pretend like I'll actually try to purchase them. Maybe just for the sake of showing them to you, because you might be interested, but other than that, no, not really. Anyway, sadly I was only able to destroy 1 pirate, and that's about it. And slightly damage the other one, which is really not something I was hoping for. The enemy was able to totally obliterate my ships, which is kinda sad and annoying, but, well, we'll see what I can do about that. Hopefully something. Now, the thing is, I thought that I actually have a big army already, and I do not even have to pay for it, and I was so proud of myself. Nah, in Disharmony you can quite easily get big armies. That's because of one of the changes which I'm most happy about, because I was kind of the guy who suggested it, so maybe the devs thought about it themselves, or maybe they read my post, and that's why they implemented the new colonial bases. So I suggested to buff them, and it was more, I kind of like to think that I had a little bit to do with the fact that they are awesome now. Basically, they increase your industry and food for every planet you colonized, which is great. It absolutely makes faster expansion and game much more viable, and it also allows you to get a lot of military ships early on, which also means that I should have a way bigger military right now than I have, which is a problem because I'm kind of falling behind. Now you, dear Tectonic, you just stay here, make sure no pirates spawn in Phaeton, wait for reinforcements, which will get here eventually. And I'm unfortunately unable to invade Hissho just yet, and I will not be able to do so for quite some time, because keep in mind, I do not actually have any invasion modules, invented just yet. So I will work on that as soon as possible. Now, what else was there? Oh yes, I wanted to rename this system. So what is this particular system? Well, it's full of deserts, which I hate because they infect me, so let's call it... Oh, I know what I'm gonna call it. Prototype. Infection for the win. Yeah, I did love the first prototype. I didn't even bother buying the second one because of all the negative publicity that surrounded the PC port, and I'm only a PC gamer, so, you know, I didn't really buy the second prototype, which made me sad because I really loved the first game and I thought that it's a franchise that deserves a shot because it could become something magnificent later on. Prototype 1 basically lay down the general idea for a game, which in my opinion was a brilliant idea. I just loved Prototype 1 and I had a ton of fun with it. Anyway, let's not talk about Prototype, we're talking about Disharmony, which is an amazing game, as I've said many times before. So anyway, now I have a bunch of fleets over here, and actually there are Hissho coming, so will my single ship be enough to stop them? That's unlikely, so what I'm going to do is, I guess I'll see how well my 4 ships will do in a fight against those pirates. Not too well, I'm afraid, so I will have to design a different ship that will hopefully do better, but that can wait. First of all, Prototype is now exploiting for food, which is important. Now, in the previous vanilla version, I would basically want to wait with colonizing a new world until I had basically maximum population on my already colonized planet. That's because, you know, you would get disapprove, malus and whatnot when colonizing another world. You would also be less focused on one planet and it wouldn't be the optimal course of action. However, in Disharmony, it's a little bit different. First of all, I'm playing as Harmony, so I do not care about approval. Secondly, the more planets I colonize, the better, because I get more population. I mean, yes, I do get more population because of extra food and industry. So it's good. I want to colonize as much as I can, as I possibly can. So in here, I'm actually stagnated, which is pretty bad. So I do want to colonize this Arctic ASAP. As for Prototype, Eurocell, just colonize this tiny terrain so that I can get a little bit more extra food and production. It will take me just as much time as it will take to get 6 souls on my system, but it doesn't cost any death. Actually, nothing costs any death because I'm playing as Harmony, but anyway, you know what I mean. It's good. It stops my population growth for 3 turns, however, so I might wait with this for a little while. I'm not sure. I might wait until I have select souls, or I might also wait to get heavy acid of refineries. Either of the two, I will think about it. I will just not get this right now. And Euro Pirates. It's all again on the area. So what am I going to do? I will continue with the spread fire because I'm almost certain I can take out 2 of the enemy ships. I hope that this is the case. So yeah, let's hope that this really is. Default formation will do because right now formation doesn't matter. Those 2 ships are identical. Now, what do I want? What do I want? What do I want? Let's try barrier. Maybe it will somehow make me survive for a little bit longer. I honestly doubt that this is going to be the case, but you never know. Let's go for manual yet again because we all like battles, explosions, pew pew and whatnot. Now, I have noticed a bug that right now in this current version of the game, ship defenses do not display. I mean, the flag, shields and deflectors, in the past they all had the cool little animations. I mean, the kinetics would bounce off deflectors and flag would actually engage and destroy the missiles from the distance. Now you cannot see them, but that's a bug. It will be fixed. I am almost entirely positive of this, right? So do not despair, do not do any of this stuff. It will be fixed in my honest opinion, so it's gonna be good. Now, some people also reported that they witnessed a limit to how many weapons are actually fired from a ship, which was not in vanilla. However, I honestly see a lot of projectiles everywhere, and I do not know if those limitations to projectiles on screen are really actually true, and they might not be. So anyway, actually looks like maybe Spitfire was not the wisest choice because my ships really did spread the fire across all the enemy ships. I thought that one ship would attack one ship and the other will attack the other. Instead they attacked 3 ships and were kinda dull about this, so it's kinda annoying. I'm sorry for the cough. And in the end I don't think I was able to destroy anything. Yeah, 3 ships still standing. Fortunately, pirates do not really have a valid way of repairing their ships, but at the same time, they also disallow me to colonize Menace, and I really do want to get this system ASAP. Also, Falcon Siphon, while it is relatively difficult to repair it, but when you do, oh boy, it's incredible. I mean, I have had a Fulcrum Siphon in my off-camera playthrough. It was amazing. And also I do still want to colonize the platform of ES, obviously. So what I need to do is design a ship that is capable of fighting pirates. I don't care about Hissho right now. We probably both cannot do anything to each other because we don't have the technology to invade just yet. But pirates are a real threat. So let's have a quick look, because ship classes for Harmony, ship classes for every race are actually different. So some ships give you different bonuses, some ships do not. It all changes, so I need to learn the ship classes for every faction. So this Harmony has this unique trait that makes all the ships stop population growth, but at the same time I can see that they are, wow, minus 75% to bombers and fighters, Stone Age and industry. This is way better than anything I had as my Templars custom faction. This is incredible. This is better than my Dreadnoughts even. The cost obviously is that you do not gain any population when you make those tectonics, but man, this is pretty beastly. Right now I do not have fighters or bombers though, so it doesn't really matter. But what I'm going to do is just go for a bunch of medium range, in fact, beams, because as you can see, medium range costs less tonnage than long range beams. And yeah, let's go for them, especially since beams in general are most effective in medium, and if I specialize them on medium, then they are even better. So for example, if you specialize kinetics on long range where they are least effective, they still are very effective, and they will be most effective in long range unlike in melee range. So specialization is very important, but something I also noticed from the pure mathematics standpoint, all weapons are basically most effective if you specialize them in medium range, but I mean damage wise, but there's also some other things that you have to take into consideration, which makes actually weapons, for example missiles, better in long range than medium. There's a lot of things that I need to take into consideration, that's what I'm trying to say. Anyway, pirates are using beams, so I need some shields to counter this threat, and that's about all I can fit. 5 shields and 5 beams, that's not a perfect amount, but hey, maybe this will be good enough. Actually, I can get an extra beam, which is good. Maybe it will allow me to deal some extra damage. Yeah, let's go for medium range. I will probably not be able to kill all pirates in a long range, even if I am specialized in long range. So let's go for that. Alright, Mrs. Fadlad. It will only take you a single turn to get the maximum population, but I do really need a ship. So I'm sorry for doing this, I'm gonna stagnate you on purpose to get an extra tectonic. I cannot get 2 because there's no way for me to use dust to speed the construction of my ship, unfortunately. Now, what I actually like about Endless Space is that unlike in other games, there is a good explanation on why can you use money to speed up production of something. I mean, usually it doesn't make sense. I mean, you're not gonna purchase time, which you need to make something, right? In this game, however, it does make sense. I've never talked about this, because I didn't think to talk about this, but dust, for those of you who do not know, are actually, it's like magic, because those are nanobots. Except there are tons, gazillions of nanobots, so you can actually spend those nanobots. They are one-time use, but you can spend those nanobots to make something, for example a ship or whatnot. And they are acting as currency because they are the most valuable thing you can have. Just like in our world, we used gold for a currency for a very, very long time. We still semi-do, so you know how it goes. Anyway, though to know, finished colonizing Arctic, I do want to have an engraphing on that, and then focus on food. Or actually, do I? I do not. I need an extra tectonic, or actually 3. Just to be able to attack those pirates over there, because I do need to colonize Menace. It is an extraordinarily important task at hand. Anyway, pirates attack me as soon as I reach the system, that's okay. I will probably lose my whole fleet, so what I'm going to do is actually go for Nosebreaker, and actually my least, I'm gonna sacrifice my scout. So, my scout has less, actually it has more protection than the rest of my fleet. But in general, it has less military power, I think. I hope at least. So that's 80, and that's way more than 80. Alright. So what I'm going to do is ships with least military power are on the top of the list, which will make the pirates if in most cases focus on scout before focus on tectonics. If they go for spread fire, then they attack all of my ships equally, but if they go for nosebreaker or guillotine, then they'll actually focus on the scout, and this will be good. I don't care about this guy, he may die, I want him to die, he's just as good as dead to me, and if he protects more of my tectonics from dying, then that is good for me. And actually I've been recording for 20 minutes already, that is unexpected, I thought it's a way short and cast. Alright, that's good, I like it. Anyway, what I'm going to start with, let's go for barrier. I mean, I noticed that pirates are starting with short circuits, so that's a good idea. Then they will go for that strategy most likely. I can counter this with weapon overclock. Do I want to? This will not give me anything, but it will decrease the weapon damage. At the same time, if I go for short circuit, this will decrease the accuracy while not doing anything for me. I will go for short circuit just in case the enemy actually does not go for, you know, adaptive strategy. I think it's a worthwhile idea. Also, what I'm going to do after this battle is pause the recording for a quick split second, because I'm starving, really, and I need to eat something ASAP. So right now I've been preheating my oven, so right now it's probably already at the temperature I want it to be at, so I can actually put some delicious, tasty food inside of it and let it, you know, warm up as I'm finishing this cast. And of course the enemy actually counters me on long range. This is very, very bad. They will be able to utterly obliterate my forces, which is sub-ideal, let's put it this way. So other strategy, because it counters me, it doesn't matter for the enemy defenses because the pirates never use any defenses, but it does matter because the weapons deal an enormous amount of damage, and Nosebreaker in the hindsight was a pretty bad idea because I really did focus on a single enemy ship when in fact I should have went for Guillotine. Because I really did make it a horrible overkill right there, and it was not worth it at all. Live and learn, I guess, live and learn. Defeat Atmos Fantlat. Fortunately, pirates cannot invade it, so I don't have to be afraid. They can blockade it, which lowers my science, but that's about it. Alright, let's see how well my newly created tectonic will do. Actually, no matter how great it is at countering pirates, it will not do well because it's only a single ship, so it is a better idea to get, not volcanic, another tectonic over here ready to rock, and maybe actually two of those guys. No, I'm not going to send those, how they call it, tectonics once to actually reinforce my fleet's atmosphere's Fatlat. I would much rather protect Phaeton. For two reasons. First, I'm blocking the pirates from spawning here. Secondly, I'm making sure that the Hissho cannot advance, which is important and very good. But firstly, I'll pause recording. I need to take care of my food, so I'll be right back. Okay, I have returned. My food is getting ready and warm and tasty and delicious, which is what I like. And I actually should have skipped this turn off camera because right now I'm kind of wasting time, am I not? So anyway, what was there that I wanted to talk about? Yes, probably the way in which I want to win this game, because last time in my off-camera playthrough I won by playing as Templars. Templars, if you remember my other playthrough, they are very, very powerful. They use the Hissho affinity, which in my opinion is the most powerful affinity in the game. So yeah, that's probably the reason. But Harmony does have its own gimmick to win the game. I'll actually, make it more likely. First of all, they have this harmonized planets. What does it mean? It means that you have plus 50% fizz on planets with maximum population. Fizz, yet again, food industry science. So you gain a lot of extra stuff if you are stagnated, which actually makes stagnation good, considering that it is fairly easy to grow a large population as Harmony because they have a lot of food production bonuses. It is a very good update, especially if you pair this with dust virtualization, because adaptive industrial systems actually convert all of your food into industry. I captured a bunch of systems from Harmony that actually, in my off-camera playthrough, I captured a bunch of systems that had disk restoration grids. And because I had a very powerful technology, I combined them with adaptive industrial systems, and it was crazy. Over 2,000 industry per turn on a relatively medium-sized system. That is skilled, and I had a lot of systems like this. So in late game, if we survive for this long until I get this particular piece of research, we're gonna be unstoppable. As simple as that. Especially after we get rid of dust. And then we're gonna get even more bonuses to food, which is going to be great. And even more pirates! That's bad. It actually makes me kind of want to engage this pirate fleet right now while I still can and am alive. So I'm gonna risk it with my 2 techniques, see how well they do against those pirates. In theory, those pirates have way more military strength than I do, and in fact they have so many beams, it's kind of ridiculous. Anyway, let's go for guillotine. It doesn't matter because there are only 3 pirate ships anyway, but let's go for it nevertheless. Let's go for, I would say, short circuit, why not? Then let's go for more short circuit, and then let's go for barrier. Unfortunately, I think I'll die by medium phase, but there is a chance, a possibility rather, that I will also kill the pirates. And if I can, then this will be all I need, because those pirates are kinda crazy. That's one fleet I have not even been able to dispatch just yet, and then there is the other one still coming. What I need to do is buy a bunch of pesky scouts with no modules whatsoever and put them on every nearby unoccupied system to prevent pirates from spawning. It's an old trick which works, and I actually think I will need to do this, because if this skip, you know, if I don't do anything about this, then this will be go horribly wrong, and I cannot afford this to go like this. Anyway, we're both using the exact same technology. We both went for beams that are most effective in medium range, which is okay because I actually am the guy with the shields, so I'm better at taking the damage, but at the same time the enemy has so many beams, I'm not sure if it is actually going to save me. Now, as you can see, there is, first of all, that's the new battle music. I'm so thankful that the devs actually put some extra battle musics in the game. This one was getting really repetitive. Now we have 3 battle musics, which is good. But anyway, yeah, there we go. Actually, those ships are doing a great job. One pirate ship down, the other one has sustained heavy damage. Now it's even able to counter the enemy, so maybe I will not take any damage in the melee phase as well, which is very, very good indeed. So, actually, I was afraid that the enemy has a critical mass of beams and they will be able to go through my invisible shields, but fortunately that is not the case. I am actually able to hold my ground, which is more than I could ask for, really. So, as I said, you cannot really see my shield proccing because of a bug, but I'm almost certain that this will be fixed. Keep in mind where Disharmony has been just very recently released, and I've seen those defensive modules proc in a preview dev video, so I can only assume that they will be here. Anyway, let's attack them by ourselves, because moments ago the pirates were the ones who attacked us. Now it is our turn to return the favor. I'm not gonna go for the strategy. This would lower my defense, and I cannot afford this, I'm afraid. So let's start with, let's risk barrier. If the enemy goes for another strategy, then I'll be dead. No, it's all about risk management, and right now sabotage is the thing that I'm most likely going to go for, because if the enemy goes for barrier, too bad, he'll be more resistant to my attacks, but I'm highly doubt that he will actually try this. But it is very lucky that the pirates will go for another strategy, and if they counter my barrier, then they'll do an enormous amount of damage and potentially kill me before I can kill them, which is not what I want to happen, not in the least. So, short circuit in the early games is like the least risky option to go for. It doesn't benefit me in any way, because it only provides bonus to your long-range weapons, but it does make the enemy weapons weaker. Also, the battle cards have been changed so significantly. I love it, because now you can kind of combo the weapons you have on your ships. For example, you can have, depending on from the cards, for example, there's a card that makes your beam weapons more powerful and your medium range weapons more powerful, and you can only imagine how well you can combo that together with your weapons and technologies and whatnot to make a wonderful, beautiful synergy and a basically death machine. So it's a really cool mechanics. There are some really cool mechanics that have been added into Disharmony, and I cannot praise the devs enough. They are very, very cool guys indeed. And girls, there are some girls in the dev team as well, I think. So anyway, pirates fall down, that was to be expected, and I win. Very nice. This means that I will be in fact ready for the next pirate fleet to emerge. Now this time there will be 4 pirate ships, and they will probably be able to take out both of those tectonics, so I will need to wait until I have a little bit more ships. In fact, 3, actually first of all let's disband this ship, thank you, fleet I mean. 3 tectonics might not be enough, let's go for 4, and then continuously get extra food, which actually is a stupid idea because I am maxed out on food anyway. So, let's think. My other matter is at this position right now, do I want to get a little bit more? Nah, I do need to get my high energy magnetics ASAP, I need extra industry. Now, my dear Hissho, I do not want you to have Bushido bonus going up. So, first of all, I'm pretty sure he will... Yeah, there's almost no doubt in my mind that this guy will try to escape because he's got kinetics and deflectors. I've got beams and deflectors, so I'm gonna be very, very powerful. Way more powerful than this guy could possibly be. Let's also go for magnetic field, even if actually this will lower my beam damage. So let's go for barrier instead, but I'm almost certain this guy will just try to retreat. So let's go for auto, because I doubt that this will in fact be a battle at all. Yeah, he did retreat. Back where he came from, which is where I wanted him to go. I don't want him to discover my prototype Mrs. File at all, though to know. Though to know, still busy making ships, which is important for me right now. And that's about it. I also will need to remember to design, actually I'll do this right away, my dear cutter. Right now, I might even get rid of the engine. It just lowers the cost by 20, but it is 20, so... Can I not... Oh, I guess I do need to have at least something on a ship to actually make it. Oh well, engine it is then. Engine at least will make my ship a little bit faster, which is good. But if at all possible, I want to make those ships on my Mrs. Fatlad, so I do not stagnate though to no for no reason. Also, right now I have extra population, so it will take only 2 turns to colonize Terran. But also, I would much rather get heavy asset refineries first. Make sure that I get yet another pot of population, and when I have 4 population and heavy asset refineries, then and only then I will in fact colonize this Terran. Alright, and then let's end this turn. And in fact, this video is long enough, 30 something minutes. That's good, that's gonna even be my new standard 30-minute videos, is fair, I would say. So it was PANCZASU, the mighty mix bomber. If you somehow managed to enjoy my videocast, which I really hope was the case, then please by all means like it, maybe even subscribe to my channel if you wish to see more. Also please do leave a comment, they help me greatly and I love reading them. Thank you for watching and I'll see you online.